What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Mint Hunter Comics, and today I want you to pretend that you're a 15-year-old girl because we're going to play a little game of Would You Rather? A slab versus another slab. Which would you rather own? Trying to get a poll of the community to see what the consensus is. And we're talking about page quality today. So I'm talking about a 9.6 but perfect white pages versus a 9.8 but maybe off-white to white pages. Which would you rather have? But first things first, guys, next Friday, mark your calendars. It's the 18th. I'm gonna be doing a massive claim sale live on this channel Friday night with a bunch of special guests, including the CEO of Dynamite Comics himself, Nick Barucci, as well as possibly Joe from 360 Comics. Let's get into it, guys. Once a week, I'd take a look and see if I can't fill any holes in my Green Lantern slab collection, and I saw this Green Lantern copy here. It's not a key, but that's not the point. There was a 9.6 white pages, and there was a 9.8 with off-white to white pages. I sprung for the full 100 and ended up getting this. And now that it's here, I'm so glad it fills a spot in the collection, but I of course wish it had white pages. And it makes me want to ask the question, should I have gone the 9.6, or was I right in swinging for the 9.8 even though it wasn't the perfect page color quality? There's definitely books where a 9.6 or a 9.8 makes a massive difference. Look at just Ultimate Fallout 4. You're talking the difference of $1,000 or more. But is this really better than the 9.6 with white pages? Don't forget, guys, a 9.6 is like a pinch away from a 9.8. To the human average eye, there's really not any difference at all. And in fact, a 9.6 with white pages might display a little bit better than a 9.8 with off-white to white pages. The paper quality is a little bit crisper. And how much value do we as a community really differentiate the differences between one grade and a page quality difference? So let me change the situation up. What if it was a 9.6 white pages, but it was off-white pages? Instead of off-white to white pages, it was off-white. Don't forget, page quality goes white pages, off-white to white, off-white, off-white to cream, cream, and so on and so forth. Because it gets this little ding on the page quality, are you still going to be clamoring for that 9.8, or will you settle for the 9.6? Here's the thing about a 9.6 white pages. You might stand a chance at being able to press whatever defect it was and maybe get yourself a 9.8. A 9.8 with white pages, what are you going to do? Bleach your comic? There's not really anything you can do. You can't press that out. Especially with off-white or maybe cream, you're kind of left with what you've got. Let's do a game of scenarios. What if you got a Captain America 117? Let's say it's an 8.5 off-white to white pages, or a 9.0 off-white pages. Which would you guys get? Let's talk Silver Age, right? I got a copy of Daredevil #1. It's a 3.5, and I believe off the top of my head, I think it's off-white to white pages. Would you get that, or would you get a 4.0 cream? For me, maybe it's because I'm familiar with my book and my book presents really well, especially for a 3.5, but I think I'd have to go 3.5 off-white to white pages. For a book from 1964, off-white to white pages is actually pretty darn good. Most of that stuff should be off, if not cream pages by that point. Let's ask a different question. Pretend you're a seller and you've got the same book twice. And you got a 9.8 white pages, and you got a 9.8 off-white to white pages. Are you pricing them the same? Probably not. There is a little bit of a premium on the white pages, but how much? That's what's kind of hard to hone down in this community, is how much do we really put over the page quality? We seem to put so many different prices to each of these actual grade increments, but what about the page quality? Are you going to put it for $250 for the off-white to white pages and we'll go a full $300 for the white? Or is it going to be an increment of like $10, maybe $20 higher? Let me give you an example. I'll be right back. I want to know, in the community, has anyone ever been this neurotic? I had this for years, Detective Comics 664. I have an entire Nightfall slab collection, and I've had this for the longest time. It's even signed by Chuck Dixon, but it is 9.8 off-white to white pages. And I always knew I'm gonna want a white pages. The rest of the collection is in that white pages. I want them to match. And a month or 2 or 3 ago, I finally got my Detective Comics 664 in white pages. But it's not signed by Chuck Dixon. Which one here is more valuable in your eyes? That's a really good question. This is not a key. It's not a particularly big book. It's probably 60 to maybe 90 bucks if I were to try to sell this. Of course I wouldn't, but you know. This one is signed, and signature series do cost a lot of money. So this one should cost more than that one, but for whatever reason, my brain values this one a little bit higher than this one. Isn't that freaking weird? Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm putting too much weight into that off-white to white pages versus white pages. Let's not forget the name of my channel. I'm the Mint Hunter Comics. And even though a 9.8 isn't a perfect mint, that would be a 9.9, getting a 9.8 with white pages is just that extra step closer to a pretty much perfect comic. And an off-white to white pages isn't. Luckily, the older I get into this hobby, the less I seem to care. I'm starting to slip a little bit in kind of what I used to put my value into, and I don't really mind if it's a 9.6. If it's something like I have a collection of 10 books and they're all 9.8 and one's a 9.6, you bet your ass I'm going to be having fever dreams until I get that book in a 9.8 to match. But if it's not in a set collection, a 9.6, a 9.4 is great for me if it's a modern book, as long as it has white pages. But also, guys, time is a rolling by, and it's going to get harder and harder and harder to maintain white pages over time. I know there's some outspoken members of the community in the comments, they always say, shouldn't it always be off-white to white pages? No. A white pages means when you open up the book, there's no foxing or really any form of any kind on the side. But as time goes on, that's going to be harder to maintain. I think in the next 10, 20 years, a lot of people's submissions are going to come back showing as off-white to white pages, or maybe off-white pages a lot more than what they used to. Do you guys put more weight into the actual differences in the grades, or do you put them into the actual page quality? I want to know down below with my ultimate question here for you. Hulk 181. Classic cover, first full appearance of Wolverine. A genie grants you a wish. They come up to you and say, hey, you can have your choice. A 9.6 white pages of Hulk 181, or a 9.8, but it's off white. Which way are you going? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, guys, keep on hunting. Try not to be too neurotic like me. Or do. It's all part of the hunt.